Welcome to the Veronica Edwards Show, where we have fun, financial conversations that everyone listening can apply to their personal and professional life. I'm your host, Veronica Edwards, CPA, and we are back again, season 6, completely independent and sponsored by my business, Balance Virtually, LLC, that provides accounting and consulting services. So as always, I want to thank the V team because this is our first season on YouTube and we're almost to 15,000 views. So thank you guys so much. We are creeping up on 100 YouTube subscribers as well. So anyone that wants to support the show as a sponsor, a guest, or just a loyal listener, please like and subscribe to this page and also head over to balancevirtually.com or veronicaedwards.buzzsprout.com. So today is a special edition of the Veronica Edwards Show where we are celebrating faith, legacy, and leadership, and most importantly, family. I am honored to welcome a man who represents service, sacrifice, consistency, and commitment. My uncle, Michael Fuller, the chairman of the Palmer Smith Family Reunion, which is celebrating 50 years, July 2026. Welcome to the show, Uncle Mike.
Thank you, Veronica, for having me on. And it's a pleasure and a privilege to be on your show today.
I'm so happy. Anyone that knows Uncle Mike knows he also goes by the professor, also goes by that guy, Uncle Mike. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And so, Uncle Mike, always when we have guests on, we want you to start from the beginning, who you are, where you're from, your career, and your family, and then we'll jump into the history of the Palmer Smith. So tell us about you.
Okay, I am Michael Fuller. I was born in August the 20th, 1957, in a small town, Utahville, South Carolina, which is located in southeastern portion of Orangeburg County, a rural area, population of about a couple hundred people in 1957 when I was born. Uh, my parents were sharecroppers, so I'm a sharecropper's son. So we
Wow.
grew up harvesting the crops. The crop was normally corn, cotton, soybean, picking peaches, and that was our job, is to harvest those crops during my early years. And I am the 10th of 11 children born to Mary Lee and John David Fuller. Uh, and I attended the local schools in the segregated schools in the Vance, Utahville, Holly Hill area. In 1975, I graduated from high school, and later in 1976, I migrated to New York City, seeking a better way of life. And I only stayed there for approximately less than 2 years. In the spring of 1978, I decided to join the U.S. Army, where I served honorably until 1989. And that's when I moved back home and I started my second career working for the Department of Veterans Affairs, which I worked there in many leadership roles. But I retired in 2024 with 34 years, 3 decades working for the Department of Veterans Affairs. And I am married. I got married in 1981. I'm a father and I'm also a grandfather. And also
Oh,
while working in 2004, I also earned an associate degree in business management.
wow. Uncle Mike, I'm learning things. I didn't know you lived in New York for 2 years, and I didn't know you had an associate's in business management. Wow. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And when I think of 1989, anybody that is from South Carolina, that was the year of Hurricane Hugo, right?
That is correct.
And we talk about that up here in Asheville because in the same month in September up here we had Hurricane Helene. Someone brought that up like the same month, same type of storm, but so many years apart. Well, wonderful. Thanks for that background. And now I definitely want to jump in because it helps me learn the history as well. The history of the Palmer Smith family reunion, which is celebrating 50 years, you guys. We have family reunions every single year, and we'll be 50 years old in 2026. So, Uncle Mike, can you tell us how the reunion started and how you got interested in leadership? Because if I know my history, you're the second chairman. There's only been two.
Well, I'm actually the third.
Oh, no, no, don't beat me up. All right, tell me the history. Hook me up.
Okay, so the history, and I'm proud to tell the history of the Palmer Smith family reunion. Our family, I think that a good starting point would be to talk about my great grandfather on both and great grandmothers on both sides of the family, because that's where the name Palmer Smith came from. So uh, I'm the third generation from the late William Palmer and Nancy Gilliard. And also on the other side, the Smith side, it's the late Isaac Smith and Carrie Fuller.
Uh-huh.
So that's where the name Palmer Smith came from. Now, my Uncle Sam Palmer, who is really the founder of the Palmer Smith family reunion. And Sam is the youngest son of William and Nancy Palmer. Okay. So Sam was very, very interested in bringing the families together
Mm,
for a joyous occasion because the family always came together for funerals, which is a sad occasion.
mhm,
So Sam had this single idea, and he met with Carrie Smith sometime before 1974. And he took his nephew, the late Reverend Dr. Ely Palmer, with him and met with Carrie Smith and discussed having a joint family reunion with the Smith and the Palmer families. Grandma loved that idea. Unfortunately, Grandma never got to witness a family
mm.
reunion because she died in 1974.
Oh,
So
man.
after the death of my aunt, Flory Myers, which is my mother's sister, Uncle Sam thought that it was time to bring that idea into fruition. And so after the death of her, we formed the first family reunion at my parents' home in Utahville, South Carolina, in August, the third Saturday in August of 1976. And
Wow.
that's how the family reunion really started.
Wow. And so, Uncle Mike, when it started, was it just one day? You know, we've evolved to multiple days, multiple places. Was it just a gathering?
When it first started, it was really just a gathering of families coming together. It was like a giant potluck where everybody just brought a dish and they would meet at my parents' house. And they did that for about 10 years in the beginning of the Palmer Smith reunion. They would
Uh-huh.
all just meet there. Everybody would bring a dish and they would just have a good time, share stories, ideas, and just fellowship with one another.
Yeah. Now, Uncle Mike, I know you had said from 78 to 1989, you were in the military. Were you able to attend any of the family reunions during that time, or did you miss that?
Yes. So during my migration to New York and in the military, every opportunity that I had to come back and be a part of the family reunion because I was interested and I was at the very first reunion in 1976. So I always had an interest of families coming together and being a part of it.
Wow. So you were at the beginning, 50, almost 50 years ago now. How did you get into leadership? You stated you're the third chairman. Tell us how that happened because we know that, like you said, you're retiring and then the new generation's going to be coming, which we're not trying to retire you yet, Uncle Mike, from the family union. But we want to know because you've done an amazing job. How did you get introduced into that leadership role?
So uh, let me go back to Uncle Sam. So Uncle Sam, even though he was the founder, but he died in 1980. So
Mm.
from 1980, the mantle was handed over to the late Reverend Dr. Ely Palmer, and Uncle Ely carried the family reunion as the chair for 38 years,
Woo!
up until 2018, until his death. So during that time, uh, I worked hand in hand with Uncle Ely once I retired from the military and came back home. And I think it was around the mid 90s where Uncle Ely would ask me to, he gave me my first assignment around the mid 1990s, and he asked me to work with the treasurer and the secretary of the Palmer Smith family reunion. So I was one of those young men in the family that was interested in the Palmer Smith family, and all the meetings were being held at my mother's house in Utahville. So I would be at those meetings listening intently and just soaking up everything that Uncle Ely was saying and what was going on with the family reunion and his vision as he continued to carry on Uncle Sam's vision of the
Mhm.
reunion coming together. So we eventually started adding states because in the early, I would say the early uh, 80s, we connected with our Florida family. And that's when our
Yes.
Florida family came in, uh, and then they became a part of it. So we eventually started adding states. We added New York and Florida as places that we can rotate through. And then
Mhm.
eventually we added Maryland. So
Mhm.
then we had 3 states that we could rotate through, and then eventually Georgia. And
Right.
now today we are rotating through 5 states, which is South Carolina, Florida, New York, Georgia, and the mid-Atlantic states, which consist of New Jersey, Maryland, and Virginia. And this is the
Uncle
way
Mike.
it is today.
We are
So,
enterprise. We are enterprise, Uncle Mike.
so
Sure.
that's how we got to where we are today.
Wow. Do you ever sit back? Do you get people that say, "Oh, you guys could have a cute family reunion, a t-shirt in the park," and you're like, "Nah, we like you guys have meetings, you have committees, you have chairs of each state. It's a big deal." And I know so many people, friends that have come to our family reunions and they are just like, "We just can't believe that you guys are doing something like this." And I guess I almost take it for granted because ever since I've been alive, I was born in 1982, there's always been family reunions.
Yes, the family reunion is not an organization, but it's an organism because it's a living thing. And
Mm.
it's people, it's characters, it's like you just stated, we have offices in every state, and we are functioning as a enterprise of
Yes, we're gonna
growing.
talk about that a little bit later about, this is like a nonprofit. So I'm very proud to be witnessing the evolution, and I'm just honored that you're sharing it with us today. So we touched on how special this is, and I would love, Uncle Mike, for you as the chairman, what makes this 50th reunion so special for you?
For me, this 50th union is more than just a gathering of people coming together. That this is a golden milestone that most families never ever reach. You know, so now it translates 50 years, 50 reunion translates into 50 years of generation after generations coming back year after year. So people made some conscious decisions and commitment and sacrifices to come back to keep this family legacy alive. At our 50th reunion, which is coming in July, we're going to have elders there that were there from the very first beginning of the reunion. And we're
Mhm.
going to have them sitting right next to young children who this is their, maybe their first reunion. So they're going to future and the past and the
That's
present
beautiful.
all in one place at the same time. So
Yes.
it is going to be more than just remembering, but we are going to be documenting history.
Yes, it's exciting. I get chills with you saying it. And I'm a money person. Uncle Mike's a businessman too. Don't get it twisted, people listening. We do have dues. There are dues. Anyone's welcome to come, but there's dues based on how many people's in your household. There's a little extra due this year because it's the 50th. We give scholarships. There's so many things that we've been able to provide to the family. And if you're over 80 years old, right, you can participate for free. You don't have dues.
That's correct.
And Uncle Mike, I joke with mommy all the time, who's part of the planning committee, well, part of the board, I suppose. And I'm like, why 80? Why not at 65? She's like, girl, we live a long time. If we did 65, everybody would be for free. So, Uncle Mike, do you know about how many people that we have that's over 80? I mean, we got over about 15 people, right?
So now at the last count, we were over 20. That's over 80.
Wow.
Yes. And that number is continuing to grow each and every year.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so Uncle Mike, what should the family know? Like, what are the main areas that they need to know about this reunion? Are there attendance goals, the dates, the locations, planning committees? How do we get the younger generation involved in the planning? All that fun stuff.
Okay. So for as far as the dates, and I'm assuming you're talking about the dates of the 50th.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes. So the dates of the 50th is July the 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. And it's going to be located in Somerville, South Carolina at the Hilton Garden Convention Center.
Mhm.
Okay, so planning, as far as planning, we had a committee that was working since 2023, that they
Wow.
was working on planning this 50th event. And we got a lot of things. We added an additional day. The reunion normally starts on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the 50th because it's such a milestone that we added one day at Thursday. So we've got tours scheduled, uh, Charleston area. I don't want to give out all the
I
different
was
things, but
going to say,
we're
just give them a
going,
little something, something.
yes, but and then on Friday, we've got some tours scheduled to go back to the home area of Utahville where the reunion first started. And then on that
Ooh.
Saturday, we're going to have some family time. And then we're going to have this grand gala that evening, which we're going to be honoring our elders and different family members. And then Sunday, we will close out with our worship service along with our lunch, brunch, uh, afternoon closeout of this 50th gala.
Oh, that's wonderful, and that's in the Nexton area, which is really blowing up in the Somerville area. It's in a great location. What we're maybe 20 minutes from Charleston. We're about an hour and a half from Columbia. So I'm looking forward to it. I will definitely be there and my whole family. For those that are family members, friends of the family, and you're like, I want information. The email address, Uncle Mike, is palmersmith1976 at gmail.com, correct?
Correct.
And that's where you can be added to any email distribution list. Cassandra, the secretary for the family reunion, she's been very adamant and diligent at sending information out. We also have a private Facebook page, the Palmer Smith family, that Uncle Mike has over 400 members. And I know we probably have even more members of the family, but that's just on Facebook. And you can always contact Uncle Mike. I ain't giving Uncle Mike's information out. He's like the godfather. You know how to get in contact with Uncle Mike if you need to get in contact with him. But Uncle Mike, before we go, I definitely want to talk about the business aspect of the family. I've heard a little birdie told me that we are possibly going to be creating a 501c3. Is that correct? A tax exempt entity. Um, is this true? Is this a surprise? Are we able to talk about this?
Yes, that is correct. But before I answer that, I also want to go back because I think that you also mentioned about the young generation and you was asking, I think that how
Yes.
can they get involved? So each state has a youth advisory, and I would encourage each of our young family members to contact your state youth advisor. And what I envision is that I would love to see the young people of the Palmer Smith family really take over this digital space. We
Yes.
want you to really get involved with that because this is of your era, this is of your time, This is of your, and you are the keys to the future of the Palmer Smith reunion. You are the one that's going to make the Palmer Smith reunion go for another 50 years beyond me and those that are here now. So there's a lot of involvement. Join some of our committees, come to attend our meetings, be involved, engage.
Hmm.
Because one of the things that I also want to throw out here is that I want the families to also remember that family reunions are declining in America.
Hmm.
And it's declining for various reasons, unresolved issues, financial reasons, and also the internet, because people can now connect through social media. So they
Hmm.
don't need to come together in persons anymore. But I'm proud that we, the Palmer Smith family, even during COVID, there was only 2 years that we didn't meet in person, which was in 2020
Hmm.
and 2021. Those were the only 2 years, but we still had virtual reunion during those 2 years.
I was just
So
going to
we
say that.
never, ever did not have a family reunion. So stay tuned, young people. There's a lot of work for you to do, and we want you to be engaged and involved. We got a space for you. We got a space for you. We accept you as you are, and you are loved by each and every one of us, and to be a part of it.
Ooh, I love that. And I wanna
Now,
shout out Elliot. Elliot, I know, has been working with you. Is it Elliot Holman? I don't wanna
Elliot
mess up.
Holman.
Elliot Holman, one of our cousins that's part of that younger generation. So I will be reaching out to Elliot. I'm very close with his sister Sharitha, and Sharitha is one of many accountants and business owners and very talented photographer. So there's all kind of ideas I've been telling Uncle Mike that we might want to do fashion shows, talent shows, business expos. So thank you so much, Uncle Mike, because when it comes from the top, when it comes to leadership, I tell people when things die out, that's a poor reflection on leadership because they're not allowing the young people to be heard. And you've always done a very good job about making sure that our voice is heard. All right. So, Uncle Mike, before we go, I know, like we said, you're working on becoming a 501(c)(3). How did this come about, and what's the ultimate goal of being a 501(c)(3)? And if there's other families listening, what advice would you give them about going this route?
So, uh, first of all, um, the 501c came about. We have actually a business committee, and the business committee has been doing some investment. We're trying to get the best ROI, return on our investment, so we can do additional things for our family, like providing scholarships to help assist with some of the expenses that we incur throughout the year, each
Mhm,
year. This family invests thousands and thousands of dollars into these hotels and different places that we frequent each year. So we have some family members that had interest. They have their own businesses and they want to be able to donate, but they need to be able to donate to a nonprofit organization. So that
correct.
idea came up in 2023 and it was brought to the floor in 2024 for us to and approved for us to go forward as a 501c3 entity.
Mhm,
And that will allow us to do many, many things to increase our givings for our back to school for our children,
mhm,
our scholarships that we offer to different family members that didn't meet our various criterias. And it's going to be a good thing. And my vision is that I am hoping that we will be able to at some point in time in the future that we'll be able to offset some of the costs that it costs family members to attend the reunion. That's the ultimate goal that we want to be able to do. We want to be
yes,
able to receive these donations, give people tax breaks for the money that they do spend to participate in the Palmer Smith family reunion. And as far as my advice to other families in general of just starting a family reunion, I would say that I probably wouldn't go at it at first as a 501c3, but I would go at it as a one, start with the end in mind, have a vision, which is going to translate into a purpose,
mhm,
uh, find a few committed family members to help with the leadership and the responsibilities. And thirdly, I would say engage the young generation from the beginning. That's would be my advice to any family that's trying to start a family reunion. And
Mm-hmm.
then later, as you build and grow like we did, it took us almost 50 years to get to the point where we are going to engage with a 501c3.
Yeah.
So
And yeah, I like that offsetting the cost because people don't realize we've been self-funding this organization this whole time. So imagine if we can get a grant that pays for scholarships, pays for everybody's um, fees to come, all that fun stuff, all the organizations that you mentioned, all the hotels, all these different places that we're giving money to, we can now reach back out to them and say, hey, do you mind giving us a sponsorship? And we have the tax ID that you can write this off because it's not just about money. I work with a lot of nonprofits where the venue might say, we will donate, the food tonight for you. And there's a dollar amount for that, or we'll donate this space. So I love the forward thinking business mindset because like you said, over the years, you're seeing this is growing and it's generating a lot of money. Let's figure out a way that we could keep this going, but also help our family as well. So Uncle Mike, just like that, we are to the end of the show. Is there anything that you would like to say before we sign off?
yes, I would like to say to, especially to our youth, our young people, I would love for you to use this visual. Look at the Palmer Smith family reunion as a brick wall with a solid foundation, and there are room on that wall for you to add your blocks. And that's what I want the young people to visualize that there's room for you. You are the future. You are the key to this family reunion as far as going forward. And I'm reminded of a quote from Michelangelo that says that one of the greatest danger to us is not that we aim too high and miss, but rather we aim too low and we reach it. So
Yes.
aim high,
Yes. And you said that's Maya Angelou.
Michelangelo.
Oh, Michelangelo. I thought that's what you said. And I was like, maybe he mean Maya Angelou, Michelangelo. But you're right. You got to reach for the stars. And I think sometimes people are waiting for someone to have the ask, like you said. So I'm glad that you asked because, I'm always going back to Uncle Mike. I'm going to say it. People be saying stuff. I'm like, Uncle Mike, this is the thoughts of the young people. And, sometimes people don't want to be disrespectful or they think that their voice is just not going to be heard. But I will say, anytime I brought something to you, Uncle Mike, and the whole team, they take it. I mean, it was the board's idea to have you come on the show. I didn't even think of it. I'm like, yes. So I'm just honored that I can help bridge that gap. And hopefully, like you said, we'll have another 50 years. So, Uncle Mike, we just want to honor your leadership, your service, your heart for the family. Thank you for carrying the torch into our next 50 years. And like you said, to the Palmer Smith family, July 2026 is not just a date, it's a milestone. We can show up, show out, get involved, bring the kids, tell stories, build our future, because it's all about legacy. And we do that one generation at a time. So, Uncle Mike, thank you so much for coming on, coming clean. I told Uncle Mike he's the best dressed guest that I've had yet on YouTube. So thank you so much. Uncle Mike's retired, but I heard your phone blowing up a couple of times. Uncle Mike, I ain't gonna ask no questions. Who's calling you? I know you're a busy man. But thank you all for tuning into the Veronica Edwards Show. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Also, veronicaedwards.buzzsprout.com so you never miss an episode. And until next time, stay balanced and financially savvy.